I've really started to get multiverse fatigue in the superhero genre, but My Adventures with Superman may have just done it in one of the most fun ways yet. What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I wanted to talk about My Adventures with Superman Episode 7, titled Kiss Kiss Fall in a Portal. This episode sees Clark and Lois freaking out in their own respective ways over their first official date, before it quickly goes south as the Superman gang faces off with Mr. Mxyzptlk and a multiverse space force of Lois Lanes. Now, after a pretty rocky 2 weeks of mediocre but still decent episodes, I think that this one may have just struck gold. It was what I think may easily be my favorite so far, and I fully expect it to be the opposite for others because it has a very obscure villain and a very out of left field story. But I think the reason that I liked it so much was exactly because this show knows that it's different and embraces the passive animated Superman as we're shown here. And in an era where multiverses are all the rage, there are some who do it right and some who do it very wrong. Case in point, Spider-Verse does it very right, whereas the bulk of the multiversal stories, including Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and The Flash, do it very wrong. And the ones who do it wrong are just throwing cameos and slight variations for kicks that, although they serve the overall story, just feel wrong and kind of just thrown together. This episode of My Adventures with Superman, however, gives them a slight purpose, with the League of Lois Lane kind of serving as a multiversal Green Lantern Corps of sorts, and with a villain like Mr. Mxyzptlk, makes it a lot more fun while building out the multiverse and not having to jump through hoops to try and justify itself. I like that this Clark and Lois don't have the same history as the ones that we've known from the past, and the fact that it's addressed in its own way already puts this series head and shoulders above most multiverse stories. And I don't mind that they're still learning about themselves, Clark's history, his Kryptonian heritage, Lois not being as successful in certain regards as other versions of herself. It all manages to make itself different by embracing that it is different, and they capitalize fully on that in this episode. And with the larger multiverse encounter, we also get more teases of the larger DC universe, including Dr. Fate's helmet, the Cosmic Rod, a flight ring, and a few other artifacts from across the DC universe. And I certainly don't expect any of these items to reemerge anytime soon in this series, but it does allude slightly to a more expanded DC universe in a style which I am all for. And as for the villain, I think Mr. Mxyzptlk was the perfect choice for this. He's a bit wacky and can be kind of annoying, but he's one of those Superman villains that is a lot more fun and entertaining than, say, a Lex Luthor or a Brainiac, but still can be rather menacing once his plans start coming together. And despite him being the villain of the week, I kind of can't wait to see him again. But back to the story, by the end of this episode, it is revealed to Lois about the other Superman of the multiverse turning evil at some point and causing a lot of destruction, which I personally think might be a bit of a bait and switch of manipulated archival footage, or is taken out of context as to the reason why Superman becomes evil in other universes. But ultimately, Lois is given a small piece of kryptonite, which I think may help her down the line, though seeing that she doesn't keep as many secrets as the other versions of herself in this series, she may just come out and tell Clark about it at some point. But speaking of kryptonite really quick, I did want to say that this rendition of Superman being affected by it, although very similar to other versions, was interesting to see the crystals kind of forming out of his skin as he was being affected by it, and I kind of hope that they expand upon that later. But anyway, overall this episode rocked. I absolutely loved it, and I want every week to be this fun and also revealing information to this rendition of the characters that has not yet been known to them. I just hope that the multiverse well isn't something we continue to dip into over and over again. But if it can be as fun as this episode made it, the occasional plunge may be pretty entertaining. But for now, those are my thoughts on the overall episode 7 of My Adventures with Superman, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. Did you like this episode? What did you think about Mr. Mxyzptlk, the reveals, and the League of Lois Lanes? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, as well as my thoughts on the next episode of My Adventures with Superman. And also don't forget to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out my thoughts on the previous episode of My Adventures of Superman right over here, or for more DC content, check out this playlist right over here. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.